All the drip tubing is run, and it's time to set up the timer and test the drip. Coming off of the faucet, I have a splitter. One side of the splitter goes to my regular hose, and then the other side goes to my drip timer. On the drip timer, I also have a pressure reducer and a filter, making sure that there aren't any issues in the water that comes feeding the plants. This timer allows me to set the time that I want the drip to go off. I can also run this manually, which is what I'm doing here. Setting it to run, pushing the manual button, and adjusting the minute. 20 minutes, making sure that the water is on, and just waiting for the timer to kick on. And so here, I just heard the water kick on, and I'm going to go check and make sure that all of the drip is working. The main line splits. One piece goes under the ground to feed the vegetable garden, and the other piece goes along the house. This is where the line originates. A 1/2-inch drip tube comes in, splits off to multiple 1/4-inch drip to feed the vegetable garden. This is our first test, and it looks like I forgot to put an end on this one. So I'll have to make sure to come back and put an end on this piece of tubing. Looks like I made another mistake. This shouldn't happen. I shouldn't have a big puddle of water there. It looks like I didn't touch the correct line there. Let's hope we have better luck elsewhere. Well, now that I know that there's an issue with the drip, I need to check all of the pots. And I see water dripping out of this pot here. There is water in that pot, water dripping from this pot. I see wet spots in this soil already, so there's water in this pot. So that means that those ones are good to go. There is water, water. Okay, so it means looks like the only error is on that side so far. The rest of these seem to be dripping along pretty well. I'm seeing water drip out of them. That's a good sign. All good signs. Water's coming along. So it looks like no water there that I'm seeing. I watered this pot earlier, so I think I'm just getting some residual and it's feeling like there might be water there, but I don't actually think there's water coming out of here. So that comes back to that same problem I found earlier. I only missed 2 connections. I say it's a good year. So we'll just take a look and see the rest of them if I find any problems. Oh, there's another one. This one just needs an ender on it. I just need to plug the end of the 1/4-inch line so they're available when I need them. Continue checking the drip. There is nothing here, dry as a bone. That connects back to that main line. Next up is to troubleshoot these few pots where the water's coming in. I think by the time that I made my way through, I discovered that this line that I attached to this pot that just seemed to make sense might actually be the main feeder line in. And so as soon as I can get this detached, I can start reattaching all of the other lines. Basically what I have here is the top picture. So if the green line is the main water line that comes in, as it comes around the corner right now, it only feeds that pot. And what it really needs to be is the bottom picture where the green line feeds all the way around the corner from the start to the end, and the blue lines coming off of that green line are feeding all of the individual pots. Using some spare tubing, I'm able to go ahead and use the T that exists on that one, cut off a pressurized dripper, go ahead and extend the main 1/4-inch line using this piece. When I'm done making that connection, I can turn the water back on to test the rest of the drip, and we are in luck because we now have water dripping out of this drip line like it is supposed to, and not straight out of another line. Water there is a good sign. That's the first pot that we would see water in. There is water in the rest of the pots. So that is the last check here would be the far side pots. An easy one here is to say, is water dripping out into the pond? I have just this line with a 2 gallon per hour emitter on it that feeds the pond every day to keep the pond topped up. And when I'm checking these, we have good news because I am seeing water in these pots. I'm not incredibly worried about them being on this side. Those angel wings do tend to like to stay dry, and so if they get a little less water, that will be okay with them. This evergreen has water, and so I think that means we are good. I can set the timer up to run